Welcome to Advisor Marketing Mindset. My name is Tina Beck. I am president of Elite Marketing Concepts, and I am very lucky today, as are you, for me to have with me Sharon Nassir. Sharon is COO and co-founder of AIRE Advisors. She is my client at Elite Marketing Concepts. She is my friend. She is one of the leading executives in financial services, a woman leader. I am so glad to have you here, Sharon, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tina. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for that great intro. It's always great to chat with you and have conversations.
Thank you. Well, I think one of the best things to lead off with our listeners who may not be familiar with you personally is just to hear your story. So share with us a little bit about your career and the formation of AIRE Advisors and your journey in financial services.
I've been a financial advisor for over 30 years and have been helping clients and guiding investment decisions with wealthy families and just retirees. And my partner and I were spending the last phase of our career at Merrill Lynch. And in 2020, after being there for 9 years, we really decided there's got to be a better way to provide financial advice and deliver the message that we feel is appropriate in when it comes to making investment decisions. So in November 2020, at the height of COVID, we decided to launch AIRE Advisors. And there were three key reasons for wanting to change our focus and improve on these three areas when it came to giving advice. The first reason for launching AIRE was we really wanted to eliminate all kinds of conflicts between our clients when it came to giving advice. We did not want to have any incentives or earn any commissions for the advice that we provide our clients. We really wanted to be true fiduciaries. So we chose to be fee-only advisors at AIRE, and our clients either pay us a flat dollar fee for the assets that, for the advice we give them, or a percentage fee on the assets that we manage for them. The second reason we wanted to launch AIRE was that we wanted to really be true holistic advisors where we can advise on all our clients' assets, not just the stocks and bonds that we manage, but their full entire financial picture, including their stocks and their real estate, their private real estate that they own, their 401k plans that they may hold with their employers, looking at their whole business succession plan, their family succession plan. What is their entire financial picture, and what is it that they want in the long run for all the wealth that they've accumulated? So regardless of whether the assets sit with us or elsewhere, we were able to, implement this decision and give them true financial planning advice. Third was that we are true believers in client education and wanted to be able to create our own custom content to continuously educate our clients about investing and what really matters when you make decisions, and also discuss behavior finance issues and bring in a lot of webinars and seminars where we keep continuing to educate our clients on best practices.
One of the things I know from working with you and for you, and what I admire is, particularly when it comes to your marketing, you've really dove in with the holistic approach and using every mechanism possible to give your clients the best thought leadership that there is. And I know one topic that goes from a marketing perspective, a client education perspective, and a financial management and wealth management perspective that's dear to your heart is the concept of emotional intelligence. And I think that a lot of people don't understand what a prominent role that plays in the psychology of a client, both in attracting them and retaining them in the marketing, but also in serving them as a financial advisor. So could you explain to us kind of your perspective on what emotional intelligence means and how you use that in guiding your clients on their financial journey?
Managing our own emotions is one of the toughest parts about making any kind of decision where you can just be logical and detach. So when it comes to making financial decisions, the emotional connection we all have with money is extremely wide range of emotions. And the whole concept of behavior finance and how it's evolved in wealth management plays a key role in us constantly reminding our clients to not get caught up with their own biases, but to really focus on the long-term financial picture and what they're investing for, and make the right decisions without the emotional attachments. So you could call us therapists in some ways when we're really trying to get to the root of the reason why our clients hesitate to make the sound decisions versus reacting or having knee-jerk emotional reactions that jeopardize performance in their portfolios.
Only imagine that in times of market volatility. We've seen that recently, we've seen that in the past, that becomes even more challenging to kind of guide and lead and coach clients in how to reserve their emotions and stick with the long-term goal. How do you address market volatility and the emotional intelligence of your clients and kind of merge the dichotomy of those two going side by side to help the client succeed?
On the onset of building a relationship with our clients, we really keep having this conversation that market volatility is here to stay. There will be a market crash, and every year there's going to be some headline or some news that's going to cause clients to hesitate, take a step back, or not proceed with the kind of investment plan that we discussed. So preparing them for those moments, educating them on how making decisions just based on what's going on today versus staying the course, thinking long term, and showing them data constantly and information that validates and proves how short-term decision making has jeopardized long-term investment returns has really helped them to stay grounded and not jump off a cliff or push that button to make the wrong decision. But what I've learned through these 30 years of coaching clients is that they also have a lot of personal emotions when it comes to money, whether they inherited assets from parents who were never wealthy and now they are very nervous or guilt. I just have a sense of guilt about spending that money or earmarking it in a different investment plan than what their previous generation had done, and really educating them on how it was done in the past doesn't necessarily mean that that was the best practice, and how they should really open up and let go of those emotional connections that they had with their wealth.
We have such an interesting topic because our biases are learned biases when it comes to particularly the way we approach our finances, and I think generationally it does show. What we approach money with in terms of our mindsets is very much either our learned experience or exactly a reflection of what was taught to us by previous generations. How do you approach things like those confirmation biases? What is your definition in your day-to-day of what a confirmation bias is, and how do you manage to that, and how you present a plan to a client or help them identify their long-term goals?
There's a lot of confirmation biases or emotional triggers, if you want to call them that, such as overconfidence. I know what I know, and this is the only way I want to invest, or only listening to the positive news that validates your point while you don't want to see data or facts about the opposite view. I mean, look at politics today. We're also polarized because we just only want to see our point of view and don't justify or try to see the other side. The same thing happens when it comes to investing. People only want to see the facts or data that verifies their point of view and completely eliminate the other side that has multiple facts to prove them wrong. Overconfidence has been really an issue, and also overly risk averse. Some clients are just so scared of losing any money that they don't look at how much money they're leaving on the table by being too conservative versus investing in some areas that could give them much higher returns based on, financial planning, asset allocation, and giving them the education they need to understand that it's okay to take some risk with some of the money while you still stay conservative with the portion of the money you need earlier in your life phases versus investments that go long term. And the money you're leaving for the next generation versus the money you're leaving for yourself and want to live off for your retirement. So there's so much that has to go in the financial plan and the investment decisions to help them understand the time frame for that money and when do they need what and where to focus their emotion versus just what they're hearing in the news today and all of a sudden reacting to that commentary or headline, because there's always going to be a new headline.
Now, this is something to those listening, I don't think Sharon knew I was going to ask her this question, but it's something that is, as we're talking, and Sharon and I know each other very well, something I come across even in my own role as a woman who's a leader in financial services. You're a woman who's a leader in financial services. I think sometimes our natural propensity as women leaders to be able to tap into that heart space for our clients, for those that we deal with, put us in a unique position to be able to identify those biases and help someone counteract those in a professional capacity, help them make the best decisions. Have you felt that? And I mean, I know I have felt that in my role, but do you feel that in your role? And what do you think that does to play to your strengths as a leader within AIRE?
I feel that on a daily basis. And I'll just share two extreme examples with you where I helped a client for over 20 years. And this family was always hesitant to add more money in stocks or diversify their portfolio. Their only source of recognizing investment returns was, well, how much interest does it pay me? How much dividend? How much did I earn this year? And as soon as the markets would get volatile or things were not going as planned, they'd want to sell everything and go into cash. And when the markets were doing really well, and I was talking about, let's put some diversification into some other asset classes, not just what's giving you income, they would want to go into stocks at the highest point in the market. So they were doing the opposite of what we always hear, buy low, sell high. Most of the clients that are in this category, they just want to buy with the herd behavior that I want to get in now that everything looks good, now that the news is great, and then get out at the worst time. I can tell you, like during COVID, when the markets were crashing and everybody was getting panicky, this is the end of the world, they wanted to get out. And now that the market is high and everything looks great, they want to get in. And it's really just completely an emotional behavior that we try to help clients disconnect from. On the opposite end is a family that I helped recently who is a 3-generational wealth. First generation were Holocaust survivors. They only invested in really conservative, hard asset investments like gold and some money in the stock market. The second generation inherits this asset and they're extremely attached to what's been inherited and very unwilling to diversify because they emotionally feel guilty or say that this is what my parents wanted and this is what I should do. So we keep educating them about what the long-term ramifications are of just sticking to that type of investment. Even though your family did well with it, it's not really the best. To the third generation, who's now going to inherit this maybe in 20 years time or so, and they talk to me about, well, what's the best return you can give me? I want the highest return. The market did this, and how come you haven't done this well for me? So it's like dealing with three different mindsets, three different generations, and emotional connections to how they see money and how they perceive risk. So it's a daily practice we keep coaching clients on and educating to really make the best decisions with their money.
And truly that is, though, tying back to that aspect of being a leader in the industry, it becomes not only just the wealth planning part, but the almost psychology of reframing people's mindsets through that training and that coaching and that heart-based leading that you do. And this wouldn't be called advisor marketing mindset if I didn't touch on marketing a little bit. So from our work together, as well as how you see marketing, how do you use specific tactics or look to specific tactics to help clients with reframing their emotions, particularly when it comes to how you market and position the AIRE brand?
Again, I keep bringing up education, educational material and webinars or social media posts that are showing diagrams and figures that share content constantly, which is why we left and wanted to launch AIRE Advisors, was to really keep educating and displaying this information and data to the masses, that what you hear in the news, stock picking and making predictions, reacting and going by your emotional connection to things is not really a fruitful endeavor in the long run. But proper asset allocation and giving that detailed presentation through our webinars or educational content on our website and events that we have helps clients see clearly what they're hearing in the news and what they think investing is all about is nothing like what really matters when it comes investment decisions. So education, I think, is really the key factor in all our marketing and messaging.
One last question for you, because really kind of the next evolution of that education. So you and Amir formed AIRE Advisors. You brought that into our national consciousness in terms of what you wanted to offer as a financial advice firm. And then now you're taking it on a global scale. I mean, Amir recently traveled internationally to provide thought leadership, and you're really, I mean, when with referring back to education, that's really the heart and soul of who you are as a firm and marketers, both for the industry and for your clients. And now you're pushing those boundaries, and you're you're going worldwide now. So do you want to share anything about that, or Amir's recent experience in his travels and what you have planned?
Yes, Amir, my partner, who's also been in the business for over 30 years, was invited to speak at a conference in Korea and sat on a panel with Jim Rogers, who's one of the most famous, well-known stock pickers and investors, next to Warren Buffett and George Soros. So having him give our perspective about what investors should be doing when it comes to their wealth, which is a whole opposite conversation with Jim Rogers, was an amazing dialogue. There was great reaction from the audience on both schools of thought and how asset allocation, diversification can help investors avoid major risk taking and steady returns, while Jim Rogers' philosophy of concentrating your money into just a few assets and taking risks to get wealthy, but also risking a lot and having the stomach to weather large, horrible market corrections. So that was an amazing experience for Amir and great publicity and exposure for us as AIRE. We've also spoken recently at an event in Beverly Hills at Marcus Evans. We presented our whole educational seminar, and it was amazing to have people in the audience who have also been long-term advisors ask for our material or ask for our business card, because they really felt it was a breath of fresh air to hear our theory on markets being efficient versus making predictions and being stock pickers or pitching returns, how we really focused on education and data to guide investment decisions.
I think even beyond the speaking engagements that you do, what I love when someone's saying that education is at the heart of what they do is when they're lifetime learners too. And I think one of the amazing things that you do as a leader is you put yourself out there and keep learning as well, and always try to stay ahead of the curve with what the industry is doing. I think you also went to Future Proof 2 weeks ago. You guys have been busy. And you were at Future Proof learning about kind of the emerging trends that you can tap into as well.
We sat with like 25 different advisors. We call it speed dating. We talked to so many different thought leaders and managers to constantly be out there to know, is there a better way to invest? Are there better opportunities? Keeping abreast on the changing dynamics of finance and investments. So we're constantly learning. It never ends, but it's a very rewarding journey, and we love how it impacts our clients. So it's been an amazing phase of our career.
For anyone who has listened to this conversation today, we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg with this half an hour you're spending with us. AIRE Advisors is just a wealth of financial knowledge and intelligence and thought leadership. And if there's a listener who wants to reach out to you, who wants to learn more information, whether another advisor, whether it's a prospective client, how can they reach out to you and get more information?
Love to connect and share our knowledge. AIREadvisors.com is our website. My contact information, I don't know if it's shared or is Sharon.Nassir@AIREadvisors.com. Shoot me an email. We're on LinkedIn. So we'd love to connect and hear your thoughts, answer questions, or help in any way that we can.
Wonderful. Sharon, thank you so much for being here. It is such a joy working for you, knowing you, and being a part of the AIRE team and helping in that marketing journey, and just being in awe of what you and the firm accomplished. So thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you, Tina. I feel the same. Thanks for the opportunity.